What's up, y'all? Feeling a bit annoyed just by a lot of things. I'm just feeling annoyed. It's like, it's that time of the month. I feel like I'm ovulating. I have a freaking pimple bump right here. It's just, everything is wrong. Not everything, of course, but I'm just like, I'm annoyed, you guys. I'm annoyed by a number of things apart from my biology. I'm annoyed that we live in this society, right, where white people have dominated. And when I mean white, we're referring to Caucasian, right? Because unfortunately we have become very accustomed to using these terms white and black. And they're really like racial slurs. They're really, black is like a racial slur, right? The idea that Caucasian people or people of European descent are white or pure, when we look up the definition of the word white, we see what it means. What's up, Sharonda? It has like a positive connotation, and black is associated with a negative connotation, right? Dirty and evil and bad and disgusting and all these negative things, right? And given that, of course, we live in a society that, they have come and dominated and control the resources, and they run the show and all of this, right? What the fuck irks me is, and I gotta say this, y'all, like I said, like I'm really like feeling a certain kind of way. I think it's just a universe forcing me and calling me to do this video. And a number of things that I've observed, like on social media. And I'm just like, why the fuck? Why, like, it just irks me, like, why can't we have our own? You know what I'm saying? Why can't we have our own? Like, it's a huge contradiction. It's a huge paradox that white people, right, don't want us to be a part of their shit. Don't want us living in the neighborhoods or wearing their clothes and Tommy Hilfiger and all of this other stuff, right? So when we go and step out and do our own, they got a problem with that. And they come in and they want to infiltrate, and they want to, I guess it's just their nature, right? And maybe it could just be human nature. Human nature to just dominate things, right? That's just part of their nature. Why can't we be that way? I think we need to be more dominant and run shit. I think black people, we are dominant. We have a degree of dominance, like African people, right? People of African descent. But we just, through like our history, over time have just become like so submissive. Like, we're so easily manipulated. We just give in. We're just so forgiving. We're so loving. We don't think that the land is ours. The world is ours. It's just, we have learned to be dependent upon our oppressor. And it just irks me. Like, I've been seeing a number of things, right, on social media. First and foremost, you guys know I do own a literary organization called UPAWA, which stands for Urban Books, Authors, and Writers of America. I founded it back in 2009. I think I was living, actually, I was living in Jacksonville, I think, at the time, Jacksonville, Florida, before I moved to Atlanta, Georgia. And I founded this organization because I noticed that there's a need for a platform to promote underrepresented authors, primarily African American authors, and I wanted to give authors a platform, which I have done for over a decade, right? And so I made a post recently, and I do it pretty often. This is not an unusual post. Like, I've done this, occasionally, frequently, right? Where I'll say, shout out an author who deserves recognition, granted, this is a platform for African American authors, urban authors, right? I mean, authors of different genres too, not just urban fiction, but you get my drift here, right? And so, yeah, the post is like, shout out an author who deserves recognition. And granted, initially, black authors took to the post and readers took to the post and was shouting out, black authors and each other and just paying respects to, melanated writers and authors, which I love to see. That's the whole purpose of the freaking page, the organization, right? Then, of course, the post goes viral. There's so many comments. It's going to go viral, right? People shouting each other out and replying thank you and all of that. It goes viral. And then, of course, when it goes viral, it reaches more people, more diverse, audience, right? So guess who sees it? White people, white authors and readers, right? And they come on the post and they're commenting, and I'm just like, at first I wasn't so bothered. But then there's a comment left by a Caucasian person, right? Gonna reply to a black author who shouts out another black author to say, let me be more specific. The comment that was made, right, that this white person responded to was a black author or reader, and they said, I think all black authors or something like that, right? And then this white person this Caucasian person comes and says, oh, why it just have to be black authors? Why can't it be all authors that you're shouting out? And I'm just like, I was gonna delete it, but I left it up there for a reason, because I think it shows, right? It just shows this white fragility. It shows the jealousy. It shows the contradiction, the paradox of racism and white supremacy. It's just like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, who the fuck are you to sit up here and come on a predominantly African American page, a page that's designed to uplift and promote African American authors, because we don't get the recognition. Not just that we don't get recognized on white mainstream platforms, but it's rare, right? We don't really have the space, right? A lot of black authors and writers go unrecognized. And then this person gonna reply to the comment that says they shout out all black authors, and they say, why all black authors? Why not white authors? And then they're gonna question, like, this black person to say, why are you on this page? Like, why are you on this page? Like, don't come in our space. This is a problem. Don't come in our space starting trouble. Why is she even there? Exactly. Like, that shit got under my skin. Like I said, I was going to delete it, but I did not delete it because sometimes I leave comments up as a teaching point, as a lesson, so that people can see. You guys got to see this with your own eyes, right? And but it just irks my nerve. It's just, And then, all these white people comment and they shouting out other white authors, and it's just like, of course they're going to shout out their own. That's just nature. That's human nature, right? We gravitate towards people who resemble us, who share common characteristics. So, of course, you're going to shout out your own. But you're shouting out, these white people shouting out their own. Let them shout out their own, right? Why do you have a problem black people shouting out their own? I don't even have a problem with white people on a post shouting out their own, because they're going to do that anyway. But I have a problem when you got these Caucasian people coming on a page that's designed for black authors, questioning why are black authors and readers shouting out other black authors and readers. And only black authors and readers. Like, why does that concern you? As if you don't already get the recognition. That shit irks the fuck out of me, yo. It just irks me. And that's not the only example. You know, it's other situations. It's just like, damn, can we have our own? You know, seeing like, I follow and support this Pan-African leader. I don't have to mention his name, but he is based in Pennsylvania. Working on building a school. Has been working on building a school for many years now. God damn. Can we build our own shit? It's like you're going to sit up here and criticize and demean and subjugate and ridicule black people as if, oh, we just the bottom of the barrel. We're lazy. We ain't shit. And then when we do pull ourselves together and say, all right, let's build something. Let's just do this. You're going to come and attack it and sabotage it? To me, like that, I feel a certain kind of way, yo. I'm annoyed. I'm over it. I've been over it. But I just felt drawn to talk about it here in this video. I'm just annoyed, right? That, and then getting emails from white men talking about their cuckold fantasies. And granted, I like to talk about alternative lifestyles, right? So don't get me wrong. Don't get me mistaken. But all of this coming into play, I'm taking a look at all of this, and I'm just like, these are the same people that claim we don't like black people, right? That you don't want to see our success, our growth, our survival. You don't want to see us thrive, but yet you want to have sex with our men. Like that it's just starting to come together, and it's just annoying the shit out of me. And I'm like, oh, can you make a video? No, I ain't making no more fucking videos on that shit unless I want to say something about it. I'm not responding to your freaking personal stories, probably fictional stories, made up shit. I'm annoyed. Yes, it's a time of the month I'm ovulating, but I don't feel like that is the bottom line of it. You know, that's part of it. But, yo, that shit annoying. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I think it might be that time, yo. And I ain't talking about maybe procreate too. That part too. But I'm talking about something else, yo. I really do think it's that time. It's that time, yo. It's time to turn up, because it's annoying. Don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? When black people, we ain't bothering nobody. We living our life. We in our own space. We building. Let us be. The fuck you coming over here trying to... Come on. What the fuck? Facebook, like I'm over social media. I'm over all this shit. Because that shit is racist. It's biased, you know. I make posts specifically designed towards black authors. Oh, Facebook don't allow other people to see that shit. That don't get to be seen in people's timelines. But when it's your post, oh, all of a sudden everybody gets to see it. No, that's not what's going to happen. I talked about this before. You know, I know why I created Ubawa. For black authors. Authors of African descent, and that's what it's going to stay. Yes, other authors, they can come if they want to support. They have. It's a percentage of non-African or non-black authors and readers and writers who have joined the page, and I noticed that, you know, a significant number had joined the page recently because of that post, because it went viral. So I noticed the numbers went up. But fuck all of that. I don't care about that. I care about maintaining the mission and the purpose of Ubawa, which is to make sure that my people get recognized for their art, for their work. And what I'm not going to have is white people, or anybody for that matter, coming on my page making black people feel inferior or feel like they're not important, and you're trying to trigger and aggravate. We're not about to do that. We don't mess with no freaking body. Especially, I'm speaking for myself. I don't mess with no freaking body. So don't bring that shit over here. Yes, I'm starting to feel that shit, because I feel like, nah, man. No. Let us build our shit. It's one thing, yeah, we already be tearing ourselves down. We could talk about, oh, black on black, this and that. Okay. But nah, man. Do not come trying to interrupt. And that's all I had to say in this video. Y'all can leave your comments and say what you have to say. But I feel like I had to get that off my chest, because the time is getting near. And I have to say this because it's just like, I saw another post, something about, I think it was on this same Pan-African leader page. I think he made a post where some white man had messaged him talking about, oh, you're a racist, because because this person usually kind of opens up, right, when he begins to speak, he opens up to say peace and black power. And so this motherfucker gonna sit up here, this Caucasian man gonna sit up here and message him talking about, oh, you're a racist. Like, yo, see, shit like that, sometimes it's better I don't get on here talking. And I know sometimes y'all wonder, like, why I haven't really addressed some of these issues, because, listen. Listen, there are spokespersons for that shit, right? I don't think I'm the right spokesperson to be addressing certain, like, racial things. I can talk about certain things, right? But do y'all really want me to get on here and speak my mind about this stuff? Because I'm just like, who the fuck are you? And why the fuck you in this man inbox harassing people? Talking about somebody racist for showing love to their own race. Talking about, oh, it would be racist if we say peace and white power. That's two different things. When black people say black power, that's different than when white people say white power. You can't even try to make an equivalent of that shit. You can't compare. It's not the same. That's what they fear. Because we unite, when we come together and we shout black power, they thinking in terms of how they do things. With white supremacy and with the KKK. So that's what they fear. And we're going to rise up like that. You fear that we're going to sit up here and rise up. Really rise up, you know. Because real revolution results in bloodshed and true revolt against the system when people really start to wake up. Is that really going to happen? I doubt it. Nah. These niggas too sleep. They too comfortable. You know what I'm saying? They got too many bells and whistles. But when it comes to black people just coming together, living our life and surviving, why the fuck y'all got a problem with that shit, man? I take major issue with that. Let us freaking live. We ain't bothering no freaking body. Let us build our own institutions. For us, by us. You know what I'm saying? And we need to do that anyway. We don't need no fucking permission from the white people to build what we need to build and do what we need to do. If anything, we need to quit that bullshit. Stop all this stupid shit, hating each other, pulling each other down, and real revolutionaries need to come together. People who really bout that. You know what I'm saying? Who really bout that. Come together and just build. And we ain't got to get on social media talking about it. Just do it. I don't get on here talking about a lot of shit. I share some things, but a lot of shit, you don't have to let people know what your moves are. I'm talking about real major moves. You ain't gonna let people know that. That's how we need to move. I think I done said what I had to say. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can feel free to leave y'all comments, but don't come on here with that bullshit. And this ain't the first time. This ain't the first time I had to come out and address it. This ain't the first time I've seen something like that happen on my page, on Ubawa. Just like, hold on now. Y'all can come on here. Y'all can sit up here and shout out y'all people, whatever. You know, that's the reason why I be saying shout out black. I emphasize black. You know, the last post was just a general, just like shout out. Because I'm figuring, okay, it's a page that has black people on it. No need to emphasize black. But then it goes viral and you got white people and all these other people coming on here. I'm like, all right, they can come on. But don't sit up here and be questioning us. Because that to me is a major contradiction. White people are confused as hell. You're going to be racist? Be freaking racist. Honestly, I'm not really opposed to racism. You want to know the truth? I get it. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, shit probably was better when we was segregated. When y'all was over there, we over here, we doing our own thing, we building, we independent, not integrated, independent, living our own life. We taking care of ourselves, we doing for self. When shit got integrated, that's when we lost our sense of independence, our autonomy as black people. Relying on the system, waiting for handouts and shit like the hand-me-ups and all of that. We don't need that. You gotta get back to building our own shit. Just like they're doing over in Africa. It might be taking them longer to build their shit, but they building it though. And that's what we need to do. Even when it comes to research with the dog test study, back in the 1940s, I read the freaking original publication. That's part of my dissertation. I read it. I read it very carefully because I think the outcome of that research has been misquoted. And they try to spread the rumor, false fucking reality, and this false belief that, oh, black children are better off in integrated schools. No. You read through the lines, read between the lines, that research says that in segregated schools, those black children had lower implicit racial bias. That means they endorse more positive attitudes about their own race, about self, in segregated schools in the South. And in the North, those kids had higher rates of implicit racial bias against their own race. Which suggests we better off in our own world, in our own space. I defend my dissertation pretty soon. And what my research, I'll share with y'all what my research found. But it makes sense that we be independent. We be in our own space when we have our own sense of community. That is a buffer against implicit racial bias. It's not to say we hate white people. No, it's just about human nature. Mammals and people and anything that shares the common characteristics, we just thrive better when we are in a group, in our own group, working together. We understand each other better. We get along. We don't need to sit up here to try to seek acceptance from no goddamn body. That's where the problems came in. Trying to fit in and be validated. And that's how those feelings of inferiority come about. We don't need that shit. Yes, we thrive on our own just fine. These kids are being mistreated, neglected. A child knows when they're not being treated fairly. And of course, it's only natural, like I said before, for humans to show favoritism. That's just within nature. You're going to look out for your own kind. You're going to show favoritism towards your own kind, no matter what race you are. So if you have white female teachers in the classrooms, you can't be mad if they making more eye contact with white students compared to black students. That's only natural. They don't have to be programmed to be that way or socialized to be that way. That's innate. That's what the fuck they supposed to do. Take care of your own. I talked about this in one of my previous videos about having biological children and then having children that's not yours that you raise. And of course, you're going to show more love and attention to your own goddamn kids. That's just natural. Come on, we don't have to argue. That's not up for debate, right? We don't have to debate that. So I get it. They want to call it racism, and yeah, I think to a certain extent it can be bad, especially when you think of how it has been carried out, right? We ain't about to go into all of that, but it's been ugly. But just on a basic survival sense, right, and building a system to survive and what they did here in America, yes, it makes sense, right? To make sure that your own people got the resources, basically. That's how I conceptualize racism. But when we go and start talking about the hangings and, police brutality and, when it gets to be brutal like that and violent, nah. But I can still understand it, though, because sometimes that's what it results in, right? That is a means to an end. That's what it necessitates. In order for you to be supreme, so to speak, and dominate a society that you've built on the backs of slaves, that's what you got to do. Because these white men feel inferior. If you feel inferior and you feel the other group of people are a threat, what you going to do? You're going to attack. Anytime you're afraid, you attack. They are afraid. So it makes sense why black men are targeted. What the fuck irks me is that I know we have it in us as black people. Black men and black women, right? That's what irks me. It's just like, come on, stand up. We bow down for so long, just got comfortable with it. Nah. Some of us are not comfortable with it. Because guess what? That spirit ain't going to allow you to be comfortable. You wonder why you can't sleep at night? You wonder why you're in distress? You wonder why things not going right in your life? Because you're sitting up here trying to live and operate within a system that ain't designed for you, ain't meant for you. They might throw you little treats and bells and whistles and be like, here you go, here's this, here's that. But you got to know your worth at the same time. I challenge everybody to wake up. Yes, even Dr. Umar said this. I just mentioned his name. But I have to say it. He said this, that he said it, I think, in his interview with Nick Cannon, that he don't blame black women. He don't blame black women who feel a certain kind of way towards black men. He understands it, especially black women stepping outside their race to date. Not to say that's something I would do, but putting it on the table. Because what the fuck these black men are doing? Black women are just disappointed. It's like, you're the one supposed to be the leader, you know? But this is generational. So who the black man gonna blame? They gonna blame the other black men that came before them, who bowed down. Go all the way back to the first slaves that was brought over here in America. And blame them. And like, why the fuck they submitted? You know what I'm saying? Why they allow this shit to happen? To get this far. You know what I'm saying? Where it's damn near impossible to undo. But no, we gotta take individual responsibility and step up. You got control over it. You can't sit up here and be a pawn in the system and be so easily influenced. And that's, to me, what irks me. And then people out here to ask me why I'm single. Because I ain't sitting up here dating no beta male, and I ain't dating no robot. A lot of these men and women, but speaking from a female's perspective in terms of dating sense, I ain't dating no freaking robot. I'm not dating no bitch ass freaking nigga. You gotta stand up and know who you are. Stand up against the system. Be strong. Protect me. Be a man. Just simple as that. I've been on dates. That shit was cool here and there, going out on dates and eating food and da-da-da. I can feed myself. I treat myself to nice shit. If I'm not turned on by you, I'm not turned on by you. You don't hold my interest, you don't hold my interest. I know what kind of man I like, and I'm sticking to it. And until he crossed my path, I will be single. A lot of black men don't get it because they program, man. They need to wake up. They program, their minds are fucked up. They don't even know that they freaking slaves. That's the worst kind of slave. Not to even know that you a slave to the system. And even if you know, at least try to get the fuck out. Don't just sit up here and just take it as is. Rise the fuck up. Do something about it. At least, you know, Dr. Umar trying to do something about it. Speaking out against it. Taking action. Even though his efforts are being sabotaged. Dumbass Negroes sitting here trying to tear the shit down. Doing their freaking job of the oppressor. They ain't even gotta hold us down no more, because you doing that shit to your fucking self, man. This whole point of this video is just like, nah. It ain't about hate towards any fucking race. It's about standing up for what we believe in, which should be ourself. Taking care of ourself. Protecting ourselves. Our own communities. Black men protecting their women, loving their women. Black women standing behind their men. Us building family. That's what this shit is about. The hell? And standing our ground. We have a human fucking right to stand our ground. You die, get killed, oh fucking well. They take away their little bells and whistles they give you, dingling in front of your freaking face. Oh fucking well. Play the fucking game smart. Play it right. That's why we gotta be self-sufficient. Self-sufficient, we don't need that shit. We can really live in our own truth. We're not self-sufficient, depending on their motherfucking ass. Depending on their dollar. You only can but do so much. You only can stand but so tall when you're up under another motherfucker finger. That shit should be temporary. You are up under somebody else's motherfucking rule. Temporary. People get caught up and stuck. Nah, I had to say this. But I said all I need to say. Catch y'all later.